guys, welcome to SciMath, and today we are going to be talking about systems of linear equations and how to solve them through the method known as elimination. So let's get started. So today in this video, we are going to be talking only about elimination, but there are two ways to solve systems of linear equations. The other one is substitution, but that's definitely for another video, so stay tuned for that as that will be coming out pretty soon. And today we are just going to focus on elimination. So for elimination, the method just as it implies, the name implies, is you just eliminate the variables to get your x and y points that you want that are the solution to both equations. What I mean by that is, for example, in this first example that I have here, the reason why you're solving this is to know the x and the y value that works for both of these equations, and will give you an answer of -6 and 7 in this example just. So let's start by solving this first example and you'll see how it works. So to do this, and I apologize, I wrote the question wrong. 1 second. 2x plus. That's actually the right one. Now to do this one, you just have to so I'm going to start by eliminating the x variable because I want to solve for the y variable first. So whichever one you want to solve for, you can do it in any order you want. So I want to solve for the y first. So I'm just going to eliminate the x. Now to do that, you have to multiply both numbers, top and bottom, for the x variables, the coefficients next to the x variables, by some numbers that will give you a positive number at the top and a negative number at the bottom, or just in any order, but a positive and a negative number, and they have to be the same number. So what I mean by that is, like, for this equation, I would multiply the whole equation, even the constant, by 2. Because as you realize, once I do 2 times 3x, that will give me 6x. So for this 2x to have a negative 6x, which is what will give me the net 0 and cancel out, is negative 3. So first, let's solve this one. This one would be 2 times 3x is 6x. Don't forget the x and y when you're multiplying and distributing to the whole equation. And this next one is just 4y, 2 times 2y. And then negative 6 times 2 is negative 12. Do not forget that constant again. Then this next example here, this next equation, 2x plus 5y. You just multiply the whole thing by negative 3, just like I said, because you want the negative 6x at the bottom. So you have negative 6x, and then negative 3 times positive y is negative 15y, and then lastly it's negative 21 because negative 3 times 7. So let me just write down these two equations together. 6x plus 4y is equal to negative 12. Now, as you realize, these two just cancel out. Let me just take this there, and then these two cancel out because it's a positive and a negative and they're the same number, so they cancel out to be 0. Now this next one here, just negative 15y plus 4y, you just do normal addition and subtraction like you did with this one. So it's just negative 11y comes out to be. And then negative 21 minus 12 is, when you have two negative numbers, you always add and you put the sign of the bigger number. So in this case, this comes out to be 33 when you add, and this is just negative 33. Now to divide both sides by negative 11, you get y because the negative 11s cancel out. Even the negatives cancel out, and 11 divided by 11 is just 1. And the same thing happens with negative 33 divided by negative 11. The negatives cancel out, so it's essentially just 33 divided by 11, which is 3. So our y value now here is 3. So an easy way to solve for x would be, either you could do the whole elimination thing again, but that's pretty long. So an easier way to do that would be just to substitute the y value into one of the original equations. Always keep in mind to put it into the original equation, not the one that you if you have, like this one, we multiplied it by 2 and negative 3. So do not put it into the 6x plus 4y and negative 6x, because those equations are not going to give you your answer. So it's always better to put it into the original equation to test anything at all that you want. And once you're done solving, you can test it into the original equation as well. So I'm going to put the 3 in the second equation just because it has all positive numbers and I don't want to deal with negative numbers. So 2x, and I realize how I wrote down 2x and not 2 times 3, because keep in mind the 3 that we found here is your y value. So we do plus 5 times 3 is equal to 7. And you have, we have that. So, and then we have 2x plus 15 is equal to 7. When you subtract 15 from both sides, you get 2x is equal to negative 8, and x is equal to negative 4. What that means is that your solution for this system of equations is negative 4 comma 3. So these two values, these values for x and y, negative 4 for the x and 3 for the y, will work for both of these equations and give you negative 6 and 7. So that holds true, and that means that is your solution. Now, for the second example that we have here is the question is 7x plus 3y is equal to 20, negative 4x minus 6y is equal to 11. Find the value of 3x minus 3y. Now, notice here how they don't want you to find the solution, like the exact x and y value. They want you to solve for this equation. Now, for the long way through this that none of us want to really do is to find the x and y values separately through all of that long process that we did there before, and then substitute it into this equation. No, there's an easier way, and I will show it to you. So if you realize, first of all, the first step that we need to do is set these equations top and bottom to each other just so that we can see better. So negative 4x minus 6y is equal to 11. Now, if you realize here, you don't even have to go through the whole elimination process because they're asking you for an equation. And usually when they ask you for an equation like this, the way to solve it is just doing normal addition and subtraction to the x variables, the y variables, and the constants. So 7x minus 4x is just 3x, and then positive 3 minus 6y is just negative 3y. Ding ding, there's your value, that the equation that you want, and that's what they're asking you for. What is the value of 3x minus 3y? Now, all you have to do really is do the same thing for the constants. You subtracted here 7x minus 4x and 3 minus 6y. So all you have to do here is add the 20 plus 11, and you get 31. So 31 is your answer for this question, because they're asking you for the value of 3x minus 3y. Now, if they were asking you for the value of, I don't know, just x or something, you would solve just for x and give that answer. But here, since they were asking you for the whole equation, that's what we can do, and it's a very very easy method to do, and it doesn't take much time at all. Like, just look at this. This was such a long whole process to go through, and this was just like 2 steps at max, just arranging it and solving it. That's still just 1 step, or maybe 2 at most. But that's the point. It's very easy sometimes, and other times you might have to go through it all. But once you go and practice more, it'll become more easier. So that's the end of this video, and hopefully you learned more about elimination and feel more comfortable in doing it. But obviously, practice will be needed, so definitely go out there and practice more. And if you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, stay curious and keep learning. Thanks for watching.